Evening, America. I'm the big red one guy reminding you that together we must break the machine. Many of you probably watched the press conference that President Biden had last night. ABC did a pretty good job of propping him up. He was at a NATO summit, so usually those type of press conferences, they're talking about, uh, you know, uh, foreign diplomacy and stuff like that, and things about NATO, the shit going on with Russia and Ukraine. That's the type of things that they would have been talking about in a press conference like that. But Joe Biden had a list of the president. He had a list of reporters that he could call from. They had scripted questions, and some of them I have to admit, some of them asked some pretty tough questions. And he did like he usually does. He strays off, starts off answering the question, then goes off on a tangent, and he just doesn't know where he's at, doesn't remember what the question was. So, overall, I don't think he really did a bad job because the questions weren't really, that hard for him. And, they did kind of script it. So, even with the script, he made some mistakes. He called his vice president. I guess he thought his vice president was Trump. And from what I understand, about a couple of hours prior to that, he introduced our number one welfare recipient, uh, what's his name, Vladimir Zelensky, as President Putin. So his brain is mush, guys. But I think overall he kind of handled himself okay. Uh, there were just many moments there, though, that he just kind of went off into deep end tangents, and he just jumped into the deep end of the pool and was drowning. And the reporters tried to bail him out a couple of times, but it's just kind of hard to bail somebody out whose mental faculties just aren't there. So there wasn't really much that they can do. Anyway, as a follow up to the video I made yesterday in regards to uh, the internal polling being done within the Biden campaign to find out if how Harris would, what do you call it, do uh, he's not in a good after yesterday and the debate. He's just not in a good place. Okay, um, there's a couple of articles. I won't kind of read them too much. That way, I don't take up too much time with it. But I will leave all the links in the description so that you can read these articles. But just a few headlines that it's just surprising what's going on. Here we go. The rats are jumping off the ship. Says Democrat civil war rages on. This is from Upward News. While high level Democrats are split on how to proceed, they're losing faith in Biden. Says Democrats are still debating whether to dump Biden or keep him. This week saw many powerful Democrat leaders publicly express concern with his ability to serve. While Biden and Democrat lawmakers try to distract from their chaos, Trump and Republicans are gaining in the polls. And here's a quick story. I'll just read it. In a chaotic week marked by frustrating closed door meetings, Democrats are in disarray over how to manage the president's post debate collapse. President Biden remains steadfast in his decision not to drop out of the race despite major Democrats donors scrambling to find a replacement. So you got the party leaders like, what's his name, Schmuck Schumer from New York, Nancy Stretch Pelosi, and even Barack Obama. They're just on a, it says they're on a rhetorical tightrope. So they're all kind of getting together. Like I said, I'll leave the links for these articles if you want to get into them. And it's just not going good for him. It is not going good for him. He he's just in a bad place. That's just that. Again, the title is a Democrat Civil War rages on. I'm gonna hit you guys up with some other stuff. You'll see. You know, um, he's not in a good place. And like I said, he didn't do too bad yesterday, but again, everything was scripted for him. So it's not like, anything's bad. Here's another article from the Gateway Pundit. He was on a Zoom call today with the what do you call it? Uh the congressional Hispanic Congressional Caucus, which is they're a bunch of fucking idiots, just like the black what do you call Congressional Black Caucus is fucking pretty stupid too. But it says here, um, Biden Zoom call with Hispanic lawmakers goes sideways. Host abruptly ends call after Democrat tells Biden to drop out of the race. Joe Biden on Friday participated in a Zoom call He was an hour late. That doesn't surprise me. With members of the Congressional Hispanic Caucus, and things went sideways when a lawmaker told Biden to drop out of the race. Says according to notice, the Zoom call was tightly controlled, and only two lawmakers were allowed to ask Biden questions. Biden tried to open a discussion and said more lawmakers can ask questions. He does that a lot, actually, trying to take questions and stuff like that. There's a part of his brain that says that, hey, man, we gotta, I gotta do something, right? I know his faculties are just not there, but like, there's still he has moments of lucidity where he's saying shit correctly, but most of the time he's just all over. So Representative Mike Levin told Biden to drop out of the 2024 race, and host Representative Linda Sanchez abruptly ended the Zoom call. You know, he's like I said, he's just getting beat up. They're just fucking taking it to him, his own party. Like I said, the rats are jumping ship, man. It just is. It's a sinking ship with the Bidens, and they're not having it. This is just crazy what's going on. It's really, really crazy. Uh, there's just more stuff. There's just more to tell you guys here. Uh, this is from the what do you call it? Give me 1 second. Sorry about that, people. Um, here we go. This is from Unusual Wales. It says Biden campaign team thanks Obama. Spoke with Pelosi is behind the revolt against him. That's big. It's per BI. That's from Unusual Whales on X/Twitter. He's just getting it. They are just not. They're not going to let this go, people. They want to get him out. I don't know I don't really know if they can replace him with anybody at this point. There's a lot of money that went into his campaign. I mean, I guess he can kind of do whatever he wants with that and hand that over to somebody else. But I don't think he wants to get out. I think Jill Biden is not going to let him. You know, she's not going to let him bounce. It's just plain and simple. She's not going to let that happen. You know, I don't foresee that. I just don't foresee that. You know, uh, she's in charge, and like I said yesterday in my video, the Obamanites and the Bidenistas they're not just gonna give shit up. Okay, they are they're fighting with each other, and Biden's try to stay in control, and Obama's trying to kick him out. You know, and that's where we're at right now. And here's another big one right here. This is from the Insider paper. Says break in some major Democratic donors are said to be freezing roughly 90 million of pledged to the largest super PAC supporting President Biden if he remains on the ticket. So they're threatening to fucking hold his money up so he can't campaign. It's a full on coup what's going on right now. You know, he's he's in a bad place. I think the last time this happened during a shitty economy and terrible inflation and everything, I think was probably with Jimmy Carter. The country they just wasn't having it. They weren't feeling what was going on. Carter's economic policies were absolutely terrible. The gas lines were like really, really long back then. And, inflation at the time was just absolutely horrible. And people, they chucked them and they voted in Ronald Reagan. And this just looks like that's coming. It looks like, Trump is on his way back to the White House. With that said, they can't, Republicans can't just be complacent and think that, this is just some fucking easy walk in the park because it's not. All right. The Democrats are going to pull out every shenanigan that they can think of. They've already They've already flipped the Supreme Court in the state of Wisconsin, and they've already reversed a decision from the conservative court that was there that said that ballot boxes were illegal. So ballot boxes are back in play in Wisconsin for stuffing ballots. And then Governor Whitmer in Michigan, she signed a bill into law that essentially states that if you if you say the election is fraudulent, uh, it's a fucking either a fiscal penalty or jail time or something like that. I have to look into the law, but you can't demand a recount. I think something to that effect. If you think it's fraudulent, so they're trying to fix. They're gonna do whatever they can to fix their situation because this situation with Biden is they're going down in flames. It is a sinking ship, and I just don't know what they're gonna do. I just don't know, and I don't know if Kamala, if he does step down, if Kamala Harris is just going to sit by and say, "Oh, what? Wait a minute, I was the vice president. I was already in place. This money was in place for our campaign, and I'm not going to use it to run for president. You guys are going to anoint somebody else over me." I don't know if she'll take that lying down. Well, I mean, she's taking other shit lying down and on her knees, but you know, uh, I don't know if she'll take that. And she might be a moron when she speaks, and she's a pretty uneducated person as far as topics and current events, and she doesn't stay on top of shit. But she is politically savvy, and anybody who thinks that she isn't is fooling themselves. Anyway, America, I just wanted to bring an update to you guys on that, and that's where the Biden campaign is at right now. So God bless you all. God bless America. Have a good night, and everybody have a good weekend. I'll see you in the next video.